Like live,
Yeah,
or
we live.
okay. Well, first, you know, since we just started, I want to say something real quick. Um, it's like a trigger warning, whatever you want to call it, but the way that we talk on here, we don't say none of those words that people use to sanitize this stuff. We're not saying it. We're not saying grape. We're not saying unalived. We're not saying sewer slide. We're not saying none of that shit. We saying what this shit actually is: rape, killing, murder, sexual abuse. The real words. So, like, if you sensitive to that type of stuff, you might want to skip this one. You know what I mean? Like, it's just how I gotta be. Excuse me. We could give it a little bit of time to get going. I'll time stamp it. Like when the VOD is up, I'll time stamp it and all of that. So people can skip past the preamble, get straight into the actual show, you know. But oh yeah, you can up the sub count thing to 262. You know, up that. But how you doing? Welcome. Welcome in. We about to get to it in just a minute. We ain't really want to waste that much time today. Cause it's been real interesting, bro. Like it's been real interesting. One second. Real interesting.
It has been very interesting seeing some of this stuff come out and
Yeah.
just seeing how, I mean, I don't know we're going to get into this later, but just seeing how involved Jeffrey Epstein really was.
And not on top not only that, like, cause we knew, you know what I'm saying, like from the time he got locked up, bro, like, cause I had heard of him and seen him, but I never knew as a normal person who's not digging deep into what's going on Wall Street. I never knew who this dude was or why he was around so many people. Like he wasn't a movie producer. I mean, I know we know today he was a financier or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he was handling money, but he wasn't somebody who I looked at and thought like, okay, this is somebody who belong in those circles.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Uh, excuse me. We're gonna get to it in just a minute. Give it just another minute. It's getting real out here. Cause I'm ready. I got time today with this shit, with this type of thing. I got time, buddy. You know what I mean? I got time. YouTube stay messing some shit up, bro. They stay altering some shit, bro. Look at this nigga outside of my door yapping. The fuck on. Beat it, nigga. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's get it. First, just before we even start diving deep into the situation, what is what's your overview of it? What's your overall, like, what's your bird's eye view thoughts about this shit, man?
It's just insane. And what's even more insane is how just because Donald Trump is the president, that some of this stuff I feel is being a little. It's being a lot overlooked. Whereas if it was someone else, like for instance, a movie star, I won't even give, I won't even say a specific one, but if it was just a movie star,
I mean,
I
you can say Weinstein because his ass been found guilty of similar things.
yeah, but I'm saying
You
like I
say-
just feel like it would be more drawn out if it was somebody else other than Trump, and I feel like it's just because he's the president. So I feel like it's a lot, but moral of the story though, I feel like a lot of things that are very serious are being swept under the rug, and especially when you got evidence that came out like these emails from Jeffrey Epstein to different people, um, using, for instance, like Bill Clinton's nickname Bubba, like and saying
Well,
wild things.
we gonna get into that because that right there, it got even more crazy. That Bubba shit got even more crazy after the fact, bro.
Yeah, but it's
The,
I just feel like
the,
this is like beyond crazy though, and for this to be the president of the United States, like it almost excuse me. It almost seems like a sick joke for real. Like one of them South Park sketches or like, something along the lines of that. It kind of seems like a joke.
well, if it's two things we know, if it's two things we fucking know, bro, is that South Park and the Boondocks. Well, three things. If South Park, the Boondocks, and the Simpsons be knowing shit,
Mhm.
that's three things we know. I don't know how they know it, but they know it. Like, and whoever is the people hate it. Whoever is the target at the current time. Now they love it when they're not the target, but when they are the target, they don't like it. But those little animated series be known. Uh, Sometimes you look at that shit and be confused. Like, how did they come up with that one? Yeah, the Boondocks for sure. The Boondocks put a mirror up to motherfuckers. Like put a mirror up and made bro, Tyler Perry tried to get him took off the air permanently. That's all
Yeah,
I'm gonna say.
I
But
was
that's
just thinking
besides
about
the
that one.
point. Winston Jerome. That's besides the point. We ain't talking about Tyler Perry today. We talking about President Trump. Fucking. They told me Vance the only one that get your hand me downs. MAGA Mike probably playing with his nose now. Jeffrey had a weird case. Why was he around? Government officials protecting pedophiles. That's what we got going on. Because up until the day or yesterday, you had this motherfucker sitting there talking about how numerous things about how the Epstein files didn't exist. Well, first you had him talking about how he was going to release them. That was on his run up to get elected. Then when he got elected, um, they didn't exist, or it was only Democrats in them, or um, everybody except him was in them, or he didn't know Jeffrey Epstein. It's just so many fucking lies that have come out as part of this shit that he didn't he couldn't keep his story straight on what even was going on between him and Jeffrey Epstein. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it started to trickle out. First, we got the birthday letters of him and Jeffrey Epstein, somebody who he said that he didn't even know, he didn't like, that he was a terrible guy, and that the last interaction that he had with Epstein was kicking him out of Mar-a-Lago. That's what Trump said.
Mm-hmm.
But they was writing letters back and forth on birthday letters back and forth like they was best fucking friends, damn near like they was married to each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Let alone Trump met his current wife through Epstein. Let alone some of the people, some of the victims of Epstein worked at Trump's club. That Virginia Guffrey or
Mm-hmm.
Gouffre, however her name is said, the one that so-called quote unquote committed suicide by going and getting hit by a bus on purpose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the like that is if I must say so myself, going to get hit by a bus is the most efficient way to commit suicide. So I can see why she did it. Yeah, right. Um, so she committed suicide by going to get hit by a bus. Of course she didn't. I don't believe it anyway. Um, they she worked at Trump's club first. That's where Epstein met her at. Mar-a-Lago. That's where she was at. You know what I'm saying? Now, um, we can get deeper into it. The cracks in the armor really started to show last week when the government reopened. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The government reopened, and then have you ever had that one of those dreadful feelings when you know some shit that you don't want no parts of is right around the corner and you can't get away from it no matter what you do? Have you had that
Yeah.
before? That
That
right
shit put a
there
sick
is
feeling in your stomach.
right. Your ass is walking around with the butterflies. That's what happened when the government opened back up. Because when the government opened back up, even though they could have swore her in while the government was closed, Adelita Grijalta, she got sworn in to the House.
Right.
And that was the she had already said the second that she gets sworn in, she was signing the discharge petition. And she was the final signature needed, you know. So the government reopening, you know what I mean, was the the start of that sick feeling in Trump's stomach. I guarantee it. And this is just speculation. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong, but that sick feeling of something that's inevitable, that's coming, that you can't get away from, no matter what you do, I believe was the government shutdown ending.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because when it ended, next thing you know, we got the emails of somebody who said they didn't know nothing about what Epstein was up to, who said that they didn't even talk to his ass since like 2007, I believe. Well, the email was sent to Ghislaine Maxwell in 2011, saying that not only did Trump know everything that was going on, he spends time with the victims his damn self, hours inside Epstein's house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, inside his house. And just an overview of it, when the 20,000 pages were released following like an hour after the three emails came out, because the people who was trying to sweep up this shit for Trump, they released the 20,000 for one reason and one reason only, because the Democrats redacted Virginia Giuffre's name out of the three that they released, but her name was not redacted when they released it. And her name wasn't redacted is because she's on record of saying that Trump never did anything inappropriate to her.
Right.
You know, she's on record of saying that.
And that's
And so you have to
specifically
take
to just her, not anybody else.
yeah, you have to take that into consideration. But you also take into consideration that number one, the so-called suicide, and the consideration that she worked for Trump, and the consideration that she might have been scared of the motherfucker. You never know. But you have to take it all into consideration. But in those 20,000 pages, you want to guess who was the person that was mentioned the most?
Probably Trump.
Bruh, you take a wild guess at how many times his fucking name came up.
Probably like 1,500 times.
Just about 1,500 times. Now, why would somebody who you don't even fuck with be talking about you so much that they mention you 1,500 times in private emails to various people?
Because it's not
Talking
true. It's just a web of lies. I mean, it ain't even no point of like going back and forth with it. Like it's too much footage. It's too many coincidences. I mean, and it's real life footage, like real videos of Trump and Epstein being in the same spot talking. So it's like, why would you say you don't know the dude? Like, I would even go as far as saying it was just a sullied friendship. Like, it just ended. Like, instead of just saying you don't know him, like that's just.
Well, let me tell you when the friendship ended, bro. The friendship ended when this dude went to jail.
It did.
Because he had Thanksgiving dinner, according to emails, with Donald Trump in 2017, which would have been about 10 years after Donald Trump said he never talked to him again. According to the files, he had Thanksgiving dinner with Donald Trump in 2017. What was Donald Trump doing in 2017?
Was he the president?
He was being the president. That's what he was doing. That's what the fuck he was doing in 2017, being the president. So we went from the files, I'm going to release the files, I'm going to release them, to the files don't exist, to they're no big deal. You had all of these fucking clowns surrounded with Donald Trump, that Donald Trump has surrounded himself with. J.D. Vance, Kash Patel, all of them sitting on podcasts, grinning and shit, talking about how the Epstein files need to be released for them to get in office or get appointed to be the head of the FBI in Kash Patel's situation. To them saying that they don't exist. What do you mean they don't exist?
Right.
Then what was you talking about during the fucking campaign? But we all knew they existed, and we can get into what some of the shit that's surrounding the situation now. Now, since you have it up on the screen, why don't we let Megyn Kelly tell us why we all had the wrong idea about Jeffrey Epstein? Go ahead. Let's play.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby. And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years.
Oh, I just want to ask the question before we even let this idiot finish. How can a very young teen pass for being even younger than a very young teen, but also look legal?
Right.
The fucking word spaghetti of stupidity that came out of her fucking mouth in just those 3 seconds. Like, if you don't have like a protective coating around your brain, you might have lost 50 IQ points just listening to that shit. Just listening to somebody say a teen girl that can pass for even younger than they might be, but looks legal. So she's saying a 15-year-old that might look 12, but also looks 18 at the same time. What the fuck is you talking about? Right. Go ahead on and let her finish.
And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it kiddie porn. Now they call it child sexual abuse material on his computer, that for the first time I thought, oh no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters anymore. Yeah, so I don't know what's true about him, but we have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10. I was under 14 when I first came within his purview. You can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference. Yeah. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. You know, it's just whatever.
All right, and the vomit emoji, wholeheartedly agree. So I'm a just say one thing, and then I'm gonna back up and give you the microphone. You got motherfuckers that's so dedicated to trying to sweep up for Donald Trump that they tried. A fucking news host, a national news host who used to work for NBC and Fox, somebody who's supposed to be a fucking journalist, just tried to wash the pedophilia off Jeffrey Epstein to make Trump look better. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is one of those things that I was just thinking was kind of crazy. It's just the language and stuff that she was using. It just didn't make sense. And I mean, it was a perfect example of what you just called it, word spaghetti. But I did see this video. I thought this one was pretty bad. I don't know. I just feel like everybody's trying to cape up for Trump so bad. And I mean, none of it's good. And I know this one was about Jeffrey Epstein though, but I mean, she even tried to make his situation look a little bit better. But you can't.
Right, that's what it is. Because this video came out after the emails came out. So after the emails came out, she goes on her show saying Jeffrey Epstein wasn't a pedophile. He was into barely legal girls, like 15. This fucking acorn head bitch with the little beads and the maracas, that's what she got rattling around in there instead of a brain. Don't realize that 15, as fucked up as some of the laws can be in some of these states, in all 50 states in the union, 15 is illegal. So no, it's not barely. 18 is barely legal. Barely legal means that you was illegal and now you legal. Yesterday you was illegal, now you legal today. That's what barely legal is. 15 is illegal no matter what part of the fucking soil of the United States you step your foot on. That's why his ass was taking them to an island in the middle of the sea, stupid bitch. Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? Barely legal.
Yeah, that was crazy. And yeah, barely legal is not 15. I mean, anybody can tell you that.
The damn sex trafficking charge didn't come about for no reason. Mm-hmm. It came about because he was taken away from here to a place where he could do what he wanted to do with him without the laws of the United States affecting the shit. She talking about barely legal. But you know, all of the sentiments changed because Donald Trump is involved. You know, because he's got a cult. It's a cult. I've seen people. I was watching Dean Withers dude the other day, and I saw a dude go up there and and ask the serious question. He said, "Why is it wrong to rape a child?" That's what that nigga said.
He said what?
Dean Withers didn't say it. A person who called in the Dean Withers show. Dean Withers, one of those debate guys. The guy asked him, "Why is it wrong to rape a little girl? Why is it wrong?" That's what the guy asked him over and over.
I seen that video. I think we got that video pulled up in the Discord too. We gonna get to that one. But
I'm just trying to demonstrate the cult-like mindset that these people have, the cult-like behavior. that all of a sudden, not all of them, because I seen some people start denouncing them, but the hardcore ones, all of a sudden when Trump is involved, which we already knew he was involved. There was pictures, all the pictures and shit of him with Jeffrey Epstein already existed before now. This ain't something that just started, bruh.
Right.
Like, this is something that people knew about the whole time. Like, it's just the files, the what's the word of the mythical Epstein files just hadn't been released yet.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else existed, bro. Like, that shit was there for people to see. The videos of them together, the photos of them together, the photos of him with some of the victims, the photos of him with Ghislaine Maxwell, all of that. So I don't even know why it was ever even in question that he had some type of tie to him.
Some type of tie. But let me ask you this: what do you think? Do you think the real Epstein files will drop? Like, and I don't mean the scrubbed down ones. I mean the real files. Do you think they're gonna drop?
I wouldn't trust anything that Donald Trump is approving. Now, I think, because you got to look at it this way, not only with all the lies that was told, the one thing that they do, that these politicians do, whether it's Trump or anybody, is try to spin shit, right?
Right.
So the spin that they put on this is, why didn't you, if you were so worried about the Epstein files, why wasn't you mad that Biden didn't release them? Even Stephen A. Smith with his fucking six head was up here talking that stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
Biden, why didn't you? Biden had 4 years. Yeah, it was an open case involving them, and the Epstein files was evidence.
Right.
So he couldn't put them out. Like, it was literally an open case. Her case ended, appeals exhausted, and all that in 2024. And Trump them knew that. That's why they used releasing the shit as a platform. Like, they used releasing the files as a platform. And of course, Jeffrey Epstein is dead, of course. You know what I'm saying? He killed himself too with the assistance of the person who actually killed him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who that was, but you know, of course, according to the official record, he committed suicide. But you know, to be determined.
And so what are these emails that have came out? Like, how did the email? Those aren't a part of the Epstein files.
Yeah, they are. So what had happened was that after the government opened up, it was either a day or two later, the Democratic people in Congress just released 3 emails.
Mm-hmm.
And then in a knee-jerk reaction to the Democratic, some of the Democrats in Congress releasing 3 emails, because the woman who needed to be sworn in, the senator or the representative from Arizona, not a senator, she is in the House of Representatives. The representative from Arizona had signed the discharge petition. So what the discharge petition meant that it was going to be forced into a vote. The vote that took place today.
Mm-hmm.
It was forced into a vote because she signed it. And 1 second. And I'm gonna get into that discharge petition. And this is how you know that Donald Trump know he done some fuck shit. He done some terrible things. But the discharge petition was signed, and then some of the Democrats in Congress just released 3 of the emails. And in a knee-jerk reaction to that, some Republicans released 20,000 pages of documents after the 3 emails.
Mm-hmm.
One of the emails in one of those stated that, you know, Jeffrey Epstein flat out stated there was an email to Ghislaine Maxwell, his accomplice, who got locked up with him for doing this shit, and she got found guilty. His accomplice, need I remind you that Donald Trump sent some of his people from his Department of Justice to meet with and have an interview with. And she said Donald Trump never did anything wrong. Of course, she did. The convicted sex offender, sex trafficker, said that he never did anything wrong. And she ended up getting moved to a minimum security prison.
Mm-hmm.
A minimum security prison camp to where the motherfuckers she got an emotional support animal in there and all type of shit. She is a violent she's considered a violent sexual offender, and she is not even by law eligible to be in the place where she's at due to her conviction that she got.
Right.
So she ain't even the type of inmate that's supposed to be at the type of prison she's in. She's supposed to be in one of the shits with the barbed wire fences, maximum security. You know what I'm saying? That's where she belongs. But she's not there. She's at the prison camp. You know, it is what it is. But she's trying to get a pardon. Trump has been openly asked if he's going to pardon her, and he just didn't say no. He said, well, we're going to have to see. You're going to have to see. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's a yes or no question. It's a yes or no question. Are you considering pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell? He already pardoned a bunch of the people who did a January 6th shit, and then a bunch of them got sent right back to jail for doing other things.
Right.
He pardoned the guy who ran a Ponzi scheme, and then that guy got arrested again for running another Ponzi scheme. So he'll throw the pardon around. Like, he'll let motherfuckers out because he know that's the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? I ain't even gonna get into his politics and all of that shit because this is about him being a pedophile protector. Yeah, this ain't about him. You know, the pardon is only the pardoning is only relevant when it comes to he has the power to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. You know what I'm saying? He does. And he's non-committal on the answer. He will not give a definitive no when asked is he's going to pardon her. You know?
Do you think he will?
I don't think he will now. But I think if this shit storm hadn't happened, he was probably working on doing it already.
Right.
But I don't think he will do that shit now. No. He did it now, he'll look completely crazy. He'll look even crazier than this. Let me ask you a question. You know what the Situation Room is, bro?
Mm-mm. The Situation Room?
Yeah.
What's that?
The Situation Room is a room over there in either the Pentagon or the White House, one of those buildings, where the president goes and meets with people when shit like war is about to break out, when stuff like 9/11 happened. Why the fuck did Trump pull a bunch of his underlings into the Situation Room behind these emails if nothing bad is in them?
I did see that. I heard that. That is, yeah. There's something bad in there. But and then it's
why
also
is that?
like, why is this stuff going so unnoticed? Like, why is it so? It's okay. Like,
What part
cares.
do you think is going unnoticed?
All of it.
Oh, a bunch of people care. A bunch of people care. A bunch of people care. People who even broke out of being a diehard Trump supporter behind this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the flip side of that is the ones who were zealots, crazy zealots, even they just tripled down even harder. Like we see Megyn Kelly trying to justify, you know what I'm saying? I seen people saying, well, I seen people who don't even give a fuck that Donald Trump is in them. They just saying, well, what about Bill Clinton? He in there too. What about this person? He in there too. Mm-hmm. But so is Donald Trump. He's in there too, and he's in there more than anybody else. And let alone, in my eyes, Send all them motherfuckers to jail if they did something. I don't give a damn if it's Bill Clinton. Like, I don't know him. Lock his ass up.
Right.
If he was over there fucking with 15 and 16-year-old girls, lock him the fuck up. If he was helping Jeffrey Epstein sex traffic. It's just crazy to me that all these conspiracy theories that people told you would have been crazy for believing, you just watch them day by day come out. If the people said the world was ran by a ring of pedophiles in 2007 and that type of shit was getting scrubbed off YouTube, and now it's on the floor at Congress getting voted about to put the information out to the people. The president, his head is so up his ass, he's in the situation room like World War III is about to break out. He's begging senators not to sign the petition, or not senators, excuse me, House of Representative members, not to sign the petition to release the files, not to sign the law. He was begging that senator from Colorado. I can't remember, not senator. I keep saying senator. This is how you know I don't care about the government. The representative from Colorado, he was begging her ass not to put her signature on it, and then she told him to fuck off. Somebody who been saying all type of crazy shit for him for years, Marjorie Taylor Greene, over the Epstein, he done called her a traitor over the Epstein shit. Said she a lunatic. But she been sitting up there saying any crazy ass thing that would help Donald Trump get elected up until this came out.
Yeah, and I also feel like when it's something that could possibly just completely derail his whole life at this point, he's gonna say whatever he can to try to help it not go through.
See, the thing about him is, if you observe Trump, if you observe him, you learn something about him, that he don't give a fuck about nothing that don't benefit Trump. You know what I'm saying? He don't care about anything that doesn't benefit Trump. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the talking points from these MAGA cult members, they're still, out of their mind enough to try to defend him. One of the talking points that they use is that, and Donald Trump said it himself. So like basically, if you hear somebody saying some crazy shit online in defense of Donald Trump, chances are the crazy ass shit that they're saying originated with him. That's the crazy thing about him. They might dress it up a little bit more, but they more than likely are repeating something he has said. And one thing he said was that Jeffrey Epstein hated Republicans. He was a Democrat and he financed Democrats. And you will have all these motherfuckers running in circles repeating that, yeah, he was friends with a Democrat. He was a registered Democrat. So yeah, the Democrats is the ones who should be scared of the Epstein files, not Trump. Well, if people in MAGA who worship this fucking guy is too stupid, you know what I mean? Too short-sighted, too blind to go and do a bit of research to realize that up until Trump ran for president, he was a fucking Democrat too, dumbass. Donald Trump switched to be a Republican so he could run on the Republican ticket because he didn't think he would win as an independent. Donald Trump was a Democrat until he ran for president the first time.
Right.
So what is we saying? You could go on that nigga's Wikipedia page and find that. Like, that he was a Democrat first. So these people who sit up there and try to defend this shit and say that it's all Democrats, this, your Lord and Savior Donald J. Trump was a Democrat too, up until he needed you to vote for him. Go ahead and run the next clip.
So, yesterday, after the House of Representatives reopened, Representative Adelita Grijalva of Arizona became the 218th and final signature on the discharge petition. She joined all the other Democrats, as well as 4 Republicans, including 2 who hate President Trump and would like to destroy his presidency. That would be Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene, as well as Lauren Boebert and Nancy Mace.
Lauren Boebert
So,
is the one
yesterday, after the House of Representatives reopened, Representative Adelita Grijalva of Arizona became the 218th and final signature on the discharge petition.
Pause it.
She joined all the other Democrats.
That's what we were just talking about. Thomas Massie does hate Donald Trump, but does he hate him? Is the hate justified? Go ahead.
Run this.
Look at this. This is the Speaker of the House. This is the House Majority Leader, Mike Johnson. Mm-hmm. So this dude is high the fuck up. He's one of the, you know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys in the line. He's part of the cabinet. So you know that it's a line of succession, that if something happened to the president, it's a line of succession of people who would become the president next. Mm-hmm. Of course, after the president is the vice president, then the Secretary of State, then he's one of them guys that if it got down far enough, he could possibly become the president if 9 niggas passed away. Right. But anyway, you go ahead and let's hear what he has to say about it.
So what am I to do as a leader in a situation like this? I call my counterpart in the Senate, Leader Thune, and I talked him through this with him and shared our deep concerns. And of course, they share those concerns as well. And so I'm very confident that when this moves forward in the process, if and when it is processed in the Senate, which there's no certainty that that will be, that they will take the time methodically to do what we have not been allowed to do in the House, to amend this discharge petition and to make sure that these protections are there. The authors of the discharge did not allow us to do that here. That's the rules here. But in the Senate, they can correct it. So what am I to do as a leader in a situation like this?
You can pause
I call my counterpart in the Senate.
Pause it and go to the tab that you had open that had the dangers of the discharge petition. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So look, victim privacy, right? He says victim privacy is one of the dangers of the discharge petition, when the Republicans is the one that released the unredacted version last week. Right. So the hypocrisy that's on these people, they can't even get out of their own way. They're so stupid and so hypocritical. Victim privacy is one of the top priorities of releasing of you not trying to green light the release right now. You so concerned about that you didn't even redact the motherfuckers. You didn't redact them. You released them unredacted and bragged about releasing them unredacted. Innocent persons. Risk disclosure of if somebody didn't do it, you know what I'm saying? Even if somebody's name is in the Epstein files and they didn't do anything, the name would be in the Epstein files in the context of them not doing anything. If Jeffrey Epstein just bumped into somebody at the grocery store and he decided to write an email about it, saying that he bumped into them at the grocery store isn't going to implicate them in the rest of the stuff that he was up to. You know what I'm saying? CSAM, okay, that's the new name for child pornography. Fails to adequately protect against the release of child sexual abuse material. These are emails. Nobody's asking for fucking photos and videos. And I'm sure if that stuff was in there, that's going to be redacted. Y'all not going to provide live links to Jeffrey Epstein's hard drive, are you? Provides protection for whistleblowers or undercover law enforcement. So that right there is just telling you that Jeffrey Epstein did know some shit, huh? Mm-hmm. And declassification.
Jeffrey Epstein knew something, bro. We all.
Bro, Jeffrey Epstein didn't make it no secret that he knew things, and that's why his ass is dead. Like, he didn't make it any secret, and he wasn't shy about threatening to use the things he know against people for his own gain. Um, don't get me wrong. Jeffrey Epstein is a fucking scumbag. The grave that his ass is in is the grave he deserved to be in. Don't get me wrong. Like, I ain't sweeping up for him. My name ain't Megan Kelly. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The grave that Jeffrey Epstein is in is the grave that he deserved to be in. But somebody need to go to jail. Somebody ass need to be locked up behind this stuff. Because we got laws, right? Y'all, the law-abiding citizen, make America great again. What's one of the laws that we got? What's one of the charges you can catch? What's one of the charges you can fucking catch, bro? Is if I was about to murder somebody and I sat in a room with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I told you, man, I'm about to murder this nigga, and I go and kill him, and you don't tell the police, what's the charge that you gonna get? You know what charge you would get?
No.
You'll get either yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. Nah, what was you saying? My shit was breaking up.
I said if we were sitting in this room right now and I told you I'm about to go murder somebody and I went and murdered them and you didn't tell the police, you didn't call the cops, what's the charge that you would get?
Accessory to the crime.
Exactly. Accessory before the fact. And in the chat, accessory. For accessory, what can you get? You can get the same amount of time the person who pulled the trigger got.
Right.
You know, people don't always, but you can get the same amount of time. You can even if they really want to fucking throw the cherry on top of locking your ass up, they'll give you another charge of accessory under a different name called failure to report a felony.
Mm-hmm.
So you could get two of the same charges, just called something different, so you don't get double jeopardy up out here, but that you're going to jail. So even if Donald Trump never laid a finger on a little girl, he knew Jeffrey Epstein was doing it.
Right. So he's still gonna be held accountable.
He still should be held accountable. He ain't gonna go to. Let's be for real. He ain't. Look, if they don't find a picture of him in there with his dick out, he ain't going to jail.
Right.
You know. And even if they do find it, they might scrub that shit from the files, and he still might not go to jail. Donald Trump done already expressed the fact that he liked young girls. He liked young girls just like Epstein. He said this. This is stuff he said. He said that him being him owning the teen Miss America and the Miss America pageants gave him the jurisdiction to just go up in the dressing room while the girls was butt naked. And he damn sure did exactly that. I'm not guessing about it. That's what he said he did. Like, these are shit he said. Like, we ain't even out here making stuff up. This is stuff that Dirty Don said. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey Epstein, a scum of the earth, piece of garbage shit that deserves to get, you know what I'm saying? Anything that you can say that Jeffrey Epstein deserves, he deserves something worse than you can even imagine. Right. Said that Donald Trump is the worst person he's ever known, and he ain't got one single cell of good in his body. And that might just be the pot calling the kettle black. But damn, like, what the fuck do you have to be up to for Jeffrey Epstein to say some shit like that about you?
Dude, that do bring it in perspective though. When Jeffrey Epstein is saying it, dang.
What you have to do for Epstein, somebody who should have been, you know what I mean? Somebody, go ahead, play the file. Donald Trump been doing it. Look, watch this shit. He been doing that same ass double jerk off dance. That's his one move. Look at him. This is the guy he hates him. Look at him. He's doing the dance. Look.
Donald Trump, man.
You go ahead and play that. This is a person who this girl right here is the daughter of somebody who 1 second. Daughter of somebody who worked for him. Michael Cohen.
Your dad started working with Donald Trump when I think you were 11.
Yes.
And do you remember what you thought of your dad's boss, Donald Trump, and what you thought of his job back then?
Bastards.
As
Yeah,
I
fuck
told
'em both.
Emily, we lived in a Trump-branded building. I remember seeing commercials for The Apprentice on TV, and I knew my dad was working for someone famous, but I think that's the extent of the realization at the time.
So it was cool. I mean, I guess at that time it was cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But at some point, I think well before your dad got ensnared in all of this, your impression changed.
Yes.
And what was that? What happened?
There were a few instances that changed that impression, and they happened over the course of a few years as I got older and as I started to realize how Trump treated my father, one of which is in the book where my dad explains what happened at the golf course.
Let me read that.
Okay, sure.
Because, I mean, I think that this one is illustrative
Yes.
of something. Basically, you were at President Trump's, well, he was just Donald Trump, his country club. And you were playing tennis and you came off the court. And here's how it was written in Vanity Fair. Somehow Trump's attention was diverted to another skirt walking off a tennis court. Quote, "Look at that piece of ass," Cohen recalls Trump saying as he whistled and pointed. Quote, "I would love some of that." It so happened that Trump was referring to Cohen's then 15-year-old daughter, Samantha. Do you remember that moment? Because it goes on to write that after that, you came over, he wanted you to give him a kiss, and he said, "When did you get such a great figure?"
So, as I told Emily, the story is a little bit less clear to me. I'm sure many women can relate. You become desensitized to men making these kinds of comments to you, and you allow them to go over your head and you kind of tune out the noise. But what stood out to me in that moment was he said to my dad, "Well, there's no way that she got her looks from you. Thank God you married a beautiful woman." And I was desensitized to men making creepy comments about me, but I was not desensitized to someone blatantly insulting and degrading my father in front of me, someone who I looked up to and loved very much. And that was very upsetting to me. And that made me think, okay, maybe Trump doesn't treat my father so well.
And I do want to get to that in a moment about the way he treated your father. But
listen to that. Like
That's crazy.
She was
He
15.
said that he says it to bro.
Bruh, I would have killed his ass, bro.
Right,
You know what I'm
like,
saying?
and it's crazy,
I
and it's like,
would've
that's your
smoked that
daughter.
nigga,
Like,
bruh. Like, you crazy, bro? I couldn't imagine a motherfucker saying something like that to me. I couldn't imagine it.
and
bruh.
that's
Like,
crazy because that was his boss at the time too. So he's like, oh no, like you can't feel comfortable like at all, like not even close.
Well, a person who in those type of situations, you talking about somebody who had like 4 billion, like they was up like 4 billion.
Mm-hmm.
You will be surprised that in the corporate world, the people that just roll over and take this bullshit from the bosses, bro. But they take it because I mean, if he making like, yeah, if he making working for Trump or whatever, if he making 600,000-700,000 a year, 400,000-500,000, he ain't gonna fuck that up behind some comments made about his daughter. I mean, not necessarily. Let me rephrase it. Not necessarily saying that that's how this particular person, Michael Cohen, felt, but I'm talking about just in general. A lot of people take that shit because they don't want to jeopardize that career. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to jeopardize that. And Donald Trump he's up 4 billion, like I said. At that, you know, so there's no telling what type of pressure a person feels to absorb this type of shit from somebody. But I would have smoked them though. Went right to jail. Okay, I'm in jail. Whatever. But because that shit crazy. Say about somebody child that's 15, right in front of them.
Yeah, that's the part that's getting me. The fact that he said it right in front of,
Not even the regular. Look how much you've grown up. A motherfucker said, "When did you get a figure like this?" Huh? What you talking about, bro? You know she 15. What you mean? When did you get a figure like this?
That shit crazy.
It's Go ahead. Let's listen to let's see, Jeffrey. Let's listen to Mark Epstein. You know, we can talk about Mark Epstein because he the one that brought up the blue bubble. He the one that said that shit.
I'm trying to find it. Maybe we don't got that link.
I think you went past it.
Nah, that won't it. This is a different one.
Jeffrey, in 2016, I said this publicly before. Jeffrey told me that if he said what he knew about the candidates, they'd have to cancel the election. He didn't tell me what he knew, but Jeffrey definitely had dirt on Trump. And you could see in the emails, Trump could deny it all he wants, but it's pretty clear. I mean, everything Trump says is a lie.
But that's not what you were talking about.
It's provable that he was in Jeffrey's office. He said he wasn't in the house. It's provable he was there. He said everything he says is a lie. Jeffrey, in 2016, I said this publicly before. Jeffrey told me that if he said what he knew,
turn them off. That's all for that clip. But yeah, I mean that's just more piling on the fact that it's the game in those circles. No shame. And you're right. We're gonna get to that because this made me think about something. And as soon as the first word come out my mouth, you're gonna be right there with me. Mm-hmm. Watch you be right there with me, cuz as soon as the first word, what she said in the chat is it's the game in those circles. As soon as I say the thing, you might not even need me to say the first word. Yeah, I'll just tell you it's a movie. What's the movie?
Well, Eyes Wide Shut. I'm trying to tell you, bro. That movie wasn't a lie. That movie was not a lie, bro.
Stanley Kubrick, somebody went up in there and put some arsenic in his food, bro. That nigga had no heart attack. I don't know, but he had a heart attack. He had a heart attack. But if he didn't have a heart attack, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's put it that way. Because the thing about that is at the end of the movie, like Stanley Kubrick, I mean, in the movie, you see them going to like a tailor or a dry cleaners or something like that. And what was happening at the dry cleaners? The fucking guy was trafficking his own child to those dudes at the dry cleaners. Now, I'm not saying this is what Mark, whatever his name is, did. Michael Cohen, excuse me. I'm saying that that's what happened in the movie. And then in the movie, at the end, it's implied that the little girl was taken off into the sex trafficking ring in the closing shot of the movie in the shopping center. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
With the two old guys holding the little girl hand, walking off. The same two old guys from the dry cleaners.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like for years, this stuff has been being. It was always seen as just too outlandish to be true. It was always seen as there's no way that this shit exists. But Eyes Wide Shut, all of a sudden Stanley Kubrick's heart blows up before he could finish editing the movie. And then they just put out a version that was quote unquote incomplete. That's probably what happened. But if it didn't happen, somebody definitely put some antifreeze in this Coca-Cola.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But maybe they didn't do that. Maybe he did have a heart attack, but he probably definitely didn't have a heart attack, but he probably did. That's all I got to say about that. But the thing about it is that I'm really getting to is that it was hard to believe a few decades ago that this type of thing was true. And now it's just out there that this is true. This is what's happening. And you have people that's so dedicated to Donald Trump. I don't care about politics. Lock all of the motherfuckers up. That's how I look at it. But you got people that's so dedicated to Donald Trump that they're either sweeping up for pedophilia, flat out denying that he's in the files or had anything to do with anything, even though he's literally the most talked about person in the entire thing that's been put out thus far. We don't know what the full release of it looks like, but in 20,000 pages, he was mentioned over 1,500 times. And the cult-like mentality that's behind him is something that I thought I would never see, like in real life, when it comes to normal society. But I watched the Jonestown tapes the other day, like a couple weeks ago. I watched the Jonestown tapes, and when watching the Jonestown tapes, you would hear people speak of Jim Jones and him literally sitting up there telling them the best thing for them to do. Like, it's a joke now. Drink the Kool-Aid. Jonestown people, it's a meme. But when you listen to the actual tapes of how this went down in real time, when you hear him telling people that the best thing for them to do is to kill themselves and their kids, and them stand up on stage and justify why they should listen to Jim Jones, tell them to listen to Jim Jones and follow his words when he says to kill themselves and their kids. And you hear the kids in the background screaming and crying while they getting force-fed poison, literally. Kids in there fighting for their life while they getting force-fed poison. But the people who was indoctrinated into that cult was so convinced that Jim Jones was the only savior that they had, that they followed that motherfucker's word until they took their last breath, calling him father, telling them thank you, saying thank you, Father, for my life. Thank you. This is the type of mentality. Now, of course, I don't see people killing themselves behind Donald Trump, but that's an extreme example of how of how these people that's in this cult that we're watching on a daily basis are operating. We watch Megyn Kelly try to whitewash or try to sanitize pedophilia. We watch Ben fucking Shapiro. What did we just watch him do? We watch him say the Republicans, two of them only want the Epstein files released because they hate Donald Trump and they want to destroy his presidency. As if that matters, bruh. Bruh, if Ted Bundy was the president and folk motherfuckers knew that he was killing women every day and they reported his ass to the police for no other reason, but they hated him and wanted to destroy his presidency. Who cares how the police caught Ted Bundy?
Mm-hmm.
Do it matter that the motivation behind the person that's trying to get this shit handled might not be the most noble of motivations? If the motivations of people who report crimes matter, why the fucking FBI be offering niggas $100,000 to turn people in? Because goddamn, if Joe Blow up the street knew that I was on the FBI's most wanted list and I was down the street, that nigga might not even care as long as I won't mess it with him. But if he knew I was on the FBI's most wanted list and I lived down the street from him and they said, if you turn him in, I'm going to give you $50,000, my ass will probably be in jail tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So who gives a fuck what the motivation is? We just want to see some record. We want to see these motherfuckers get reckoned with. So what if Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey hate Donald Trump? And Ben Shapiro, you won't say Marjorie Taylor Greene hated Donald Trump when she was out there sucking his balls trying to get him elected as the president, not once but twice. What you talking about? She hate him. Man, up until a week ago, up until 2 weeks ago or whatever, no, up until the government shutdown, she was on Donald Trump nuts. She ain't started having conflicts with Donald Trump until he sent that $40 billion to Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
That's when she started having conflicts with Cuz. Not behind nothing else. She was trying to get his ass put back in the White House actively. What you talking about, dude? Shut the fuck up. Like these people, and you see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The mind will get twisted in this, when you are part of a cult, which these people are. It don't matter. I watched them over and over. The ones who just refuse to turn back. Like they too deep into the red hat cult to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? I've watched them over and over. Shit that they would want people burned at the stake for. Bruh, just a couple years ago, just a few years ago, when Donald Trump wanted, if you let motherfucking Joe Biden had a said to, if Jimmy Kimmel called him Sleepy Joe, you let Joe Biden would have came out and told ABC that they better suspend his ass, or else they gonna put the FCC on him. If that would have happened, if Joe Biden would have did the shit that Donald Trump just pulled with Jimmy Kimmel, what the hell would them cult members been doing? Now that's freedom of speech. That's against the that's unconstitutional. You can't say he can say what he wants. Boy, they was clapping when Jimmy Kimmel. I don't give a fuck what Jimmy Kimmel said. That's between him and ABC. Donald Trump ain't got shit to do with what Jimmy Kimmel is talking about. If ABC don't like something Jimmy Kimmel said, they can handle it.
Right.
If the FCC don't like something Jimmy Kimmel said, they can handle it. That's what those things are there for. What the fucking president doing, trying to throw his weight around to get somebody suspended from work for something they said. What the president doing, trying to make it a law that if you burn the American flag, you can go to jail. Like, I'm not burning flags. Like, I'm not anti-America. Like, but if somebody do it, that's supposed to be what? Freedom of speech? What's the president doing saying that if somebody who say something bad about him on the news, you know what I'm saying? Like, or criticize him in the press, he gonna sick his DOJ on your ass and try to get your license of your network took away. He sound like the motherfuckers in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Who will lock your ass up if you talk about Kim Jong-un or whatever his name is. What we talking about, bro? Go ahead,
I was so young. Ghislaine woke me up in the morning and said, "You're going to meet a prince today." I didn't know at that point that I was going to be trafficked to that prince. And then that night, Prince Andrew came to her house in London, and we went out to Club Tramp. Prince Andrew got me alcohol. It was in the VIP section. I'm pretty sure it was vodka. Prince Andrew was like, "Let's dance together." And I was like, okay. And we leave Club Tramp, and I hop in the car with Ghislaine and Jeffrey. And Ghislaine said, "He's coming back to the house. And I want you to do for him what you do for Epstein." I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that even royalty were involved.
Like, that's crazy.
I was so young.
That's the woman who so-called ran herself over with a bus.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, Virginia. But yeah, Prince Andrew, he got stripped of his title as prince. He got you know what I'm saying, like, by King Charles. But I mean, all of this is just for optics. Like, y'all motherfuckers knew what he was up to. Y'all knew what he was up to. Just like these people knew what Epstein was up to. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not like, Donald Trump is Donald Trump. He's the president. Like, he's tried to sick frivolous lawsuits and shit on people, but all of a sudden now we need to slow some shit down. Like, we need to slow down the Epstein shit, or the Epstein shit is a Democrat hoax. Bruh, it's a Democrat hoax. Why was you telling people that you was gonna release the fucking files all on the campaign trail? That's what you was gonna do. Like, and again, I'm not arguing. I'm talking about the Epstein shit. Whatever else he's doing in office, I let people who really get into politics talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm talking about the Epstein shit. You know what I mean? What you think about what she had to say right there?
I feel like
this
that's
is the woman,
even crazier.
Again, I'm gonna let you go, but she's the one who so-called said Donald Trump never did anything appropriate to her, but she's also the one that Epstein said Donald Trump spent hours with in his house.
Yeah,
and she's also the one that used to work for Trump. But go ahead.
And I also feel like Trump could have definitely gotten in her ear. Like, I feel like that's what he did. I mean, you never know, bro. Them black Suburbans get outside of your house, you start rethinking stuff you need to say. But that's neither here nor there. But Oh, that's crazy to know that even royalty was involved. So that's nuts.
I don't even put it past them motherfuckers. Them motherfuckers is perverts, bruh. They weird, bruh. Like, them royals, bruh. Like, the royal lineages, you know what I'm saying? The royal lineages, they lived on in the ancient times, or well, not ancient times, like, you know, but in the middle ages and shit, they lived on incest and inbreeding, bro. Like, them royals ain't right, bro. Like, so I'm not surprised that some fucking pampered royal is out here involving itself in child sex trafficking. Like, Prince Andrew shit is the Prince Andrew involvement, to me, is less surprising than being like Donald Trump being tangentially involved. Like, I ain't gonna come out here and say, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna jump all the way out the window on Trump, but like, we can jump far enough out of the window, bro. We can be hanging on by the thread, waiting for the firemen to put the ladder up for us before we fall to our death out of the window on Trump. Because the lies, to me, the lies, the backspinning, the attempt to block the release by opening up a new investigation into it earlier in the week. Like, yeah, he opened up a new investigation into the files earlier in the week because the same tactic that was used, like, because I mean, an excuse is an excuse, but that don't mean like that we gotta like the shit. And I say that to say this. Yes, the Democratic people who was in office might not have been able to release the files because the ongoing case was happening. That might be the valid reason. That don't mean we have to like the fact, you know what I'm saying, that the files weren't released sooner. But to turn around and try to use the same tactic by opening up a new case, which he did, that's a fact. Like, it was in the news. He opened up a new case, a new investigation into the files. You know, and I believe it was wholeheartedly to try to prevent what happened today. To run off at the mouth like, okay, if this crosses my desk, I'll sign it, when you literally have the power to just release the shit.
Right.
He has the power to just release it. He didn't need all of this voting and shit. The voting forced the release. You know what I mean? Because they voted so heavily in favor of it that his veto power would have been overridden. They voted super majorities about it, so he couldn't have. If it came across his desk with the way that the vote went, he would have had no choice but to sign it anyway. So coming out posturing about signing signing the order to release them, that's just a bunch of talk. Because too many people voted for it for you not to. It wouldn't have mattered if he didn't sign it; it was still coming out. Like, it's just his signature formality at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is shit like you learn about in 5th grade when they teach you about the 3 branches of government. So, like, I'm not some political expert, but I knew that when all them people, the House, you gotta be the crazy looking motherfucker to be in the House of Representatives, and 427 people vote yes to release the Epstein files, and you was the one person that voted no, which that actually happened. There was 40 or 50 people who didn't vote at all, but it was one guy who voted no. Like, his ass definitely want Trump to appoint him to something. He definitely.
And it's also like when you got certain people that's been caping up for Trump this long, I mean, they ain't just about to leave him high and dry. They gonna try to reap whatever benefits that they can from still clinging on to him.
Well, we gotta look at it this way, bro. Like, and this is the real truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the truth. When it comes to the government, senators and House of Representative members, Supreme Court justices, all of that, they don't have term limits. Donald Trump has a term limit. No matter what the hell he try to pull in 2028, he will not be the president again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's out for good. It's literally against the Constitution for him to be president for more than 2 terms. Yeah. So these people, bro, they looking at it like, man, whether they like him or not, they looking at it like, man, this motherfucker gonna be out of here in 3 years. I'ma still be here. Like, I need to know he's gonna be out of here, and I want to still be here. Like, that's what they're looking at it like. That's what a lot of them that have been caping up for him that voted that voted against what he would consider his interests, signed that petition. Them people is looking at their long-term career. They ain't looking at trying to cape up for Trump enough that they won't get reelected. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have term limits, but they do have to get reelected. They can lose their seat if somebody gets voted in above them. So they ain't. I think that there's some self-interest going on, but again, I don't care what the motivations are, bro. Like, when it comes to this stuff, like, it's one thing on this earth. Not one thing, but one of the things on this earth that I truly hate is pedophiles, bro. And anybody who knows that I've hated R. Kelly since I was a kid. Like, when it came out with what he did, I hated that motherfucker. And I still hate him, bro. Like, I hate his music. I hate everything to do with him. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't care what measures or what motivation somebody had. Put this shit out. Put it out. I'm trying to see it out. I want all these motherfuckers exposed. Go ahead. You can run another clip. That's just to show the nigga is corrupt.
It's like a magnet. I moved
This
on
is
her
a
like a
classic
bitch,
Trump.
but I couldn't get
Trump.
there. And she was married. And all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. I can do anything. I moved.
It's not funny, but it's just like, damn.
It's a look.
I was 15 years old.
What were your interactions with Jeffrey Epstein? What can you tell us?
I was 4. Epstein took my sexual innocence in front of a wall of framed photographs of him shaking hands and smiling with celebrities and political leaders. I was only 15 years old.
What were your interactions with Jeffrey Epstein? What can you tell us?
I was 14.
I was being raped every single day, sometimes for 3 times a day.
He forced me to have sex with him, basically. I really had no choice.
You would describe it as rape.
Jeffrey's in my brain, and I see him again and again, and I remember what he did to me in that hotel room.
Who else was underage?
All of them. Those girls brought other girls, too.
She preyed upon these young girls, and she used her womanhood to do it.
I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach, but I wish her well.
No,
Epstein took my...
But yeah, what does he be? Go ahead, on, bro. Like, before I say something that's gonna get us banned.
Just say it at this point. Just say it,
Bruh. This fucking weirdo is talking about I wish her what well wishes can you wish upon somebody who is literally this is what this is what their tactic was. Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey fucking Epstein. Like the tactic was because Ghislaine Maxwell is like the heir to like some newspaper fortune, so she was a billionaire too. The tactic was to recruit girls. Once they recruited a couple girls from high school, it turned into a multi-level marketing scheme. You know what the multi-level marketing schemes are, where you get in there and you selling knives or some shit, and the only way you get money is to bring more people into it under you. Well, the only way that these girls could stop having to sleep around with these filthy, slimy fucking worms that was involved with Jeffrey Epstein is if they went to school and came back with a replacement. So they went, got somebody else to take their place. They could get out. The hell you talking about? You wish her well. What well wishes do you have for a scum like her? This is the type of motherfucker we talking about. This is the type of person these people is out here trying to say wasn't up to nothing. Nigga, you tripping. What you mean? Everybody else except for him was doing it. That's the type. These are the things that I've seen people saying. Like, these is real. This ain't even exaggeration. This is real shit I've seen people saying to try to sweep up. It's cult mentality. Sweeping up for the cult leader. Freedom of the press don't matter. If you go into some of the clips that I sent today, you see them threatening jobs. Or not threatening people's jobs because he can't fire somebody, but trying to say like he called the woman a piggy, the journalist, because she asked for Epstein. Shut up, piggy. He said that, and he said ABC ought to deal with the other woman, like just try to exert the power to shut down this Epstein shit, and then start spewing off a bunch of shit that ain't really happening, bro. Gas is $2.40, motherfucker. Where? So I can go get me some of it. What you talking about? Go. Where's that shit $2.40 at? Release them files, nigga. The files that tell me where gas is $2.40 at. The lesson to take away from this stuff is really that all of them are scum, bro. You can't trust none of these people. You know what I mean? You can't really trust any of them. Like,
you can't, because everybody wants something from you, and everybody is so powerful that even if they do something to you, well, back then at least, if they did something to you, it just got swept under the rug. But I mean, now everything is seeming to come out, even if it took 20 years, 30 years.
Well, it's coming out now. It's very specific why it's coming out now, because the reason why it's coming out now is because the person that's in the White House, bruh, asked for me. He said that it was coming out, and he got public pressure from his own like people who like Trump supporters, not the cult people, not the people who gonna support him no matter what, but the people who supported him and wanted to, you know what I'm saying, be sure that they wasn't supporting a child sex trafficker. Like So they was like, yo, bro, like if you didn't do nothing, just put it out. Why y'all keep backtracking? Why did y'all keep saying that there's nothing to put out? When before you were saying that there was a whole lot to put out. Well, you gotta remember, bro. You have to remember earlier in the year, bro. Earlier in the year, the South African is running around masquerading like he's some type of fucking American. You know what I'm saying? The South African running around masquerading like he's some sort of fucking American. I mean, I think he got his citizenship, so technically he is American. The person who, you know what I'm saying, doesn't want immigrants to come over here, except for if you from South Africa, then you should come over here and seek asylum, and all of that. The person who wanted DEI to end, except for he complained about South Africa ending DEI over there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm just pointing out hypocrisies. Like, I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. The South African that owns Twitter walked up in the White House one day in May of 2025, and he wanted Trump to do some shit, and Trump said no. And then the digger got on Twitter, and what was the thing that he said? The Epstein files are not out because Trump's name is all over them. That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Elon Musk. Mr. Elon Musk, somebody who helped AstroTurf this fucking bozo into a second term because he turned Twitter into just a daily advertisement for the Trump campaign. That's all. That's what he did. Got Twitter in his hands. You know what I'm saying? He bought it. It's his shit. He can do what he wants with it. It's a private platform, privately owned business. But he got it in his hands after complaining about how Jack Dorsey ran it. And then he started doing the same shit just from the other side. When the liberal people was in charge of Twitter, the conservative people and the far right people would get just banned, nuked off the platform. And when the conservative people, Elon Musk, became a part of Twitter, and Elon Musk only became a conservative because one of his children is a trans person. That's all it is. He became a conservative strictly because of that. Because if he was a conservative at heart, like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if he was a conservative at heart, but he wouldn't have had any way of being a conservative because the Democrats was the people who was putting all the shit into place to make him be a trillionaire right now. Because they was putting all of that shit to incentivize people to buy them bullshit ass Teslas. That was all Democratic policies that was having people go buy them shitty ass cars, bro. Like that's what it was. So I mean, the Republican people weren't trying to put all of those restrictions in place on fossil fuels to push people towards getting electric cars, even though it take fossil fuels to make electricity. So it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? We don't need to get into all of that. So, like it was just a smoke screen, but anyway. We don't need to get into all of that. We could just keep it he became a conservative because one of his children is a trans person and he hates that. You know what I'm saying? They took the word woke and transformed it into something that it don't even mean. And then they became woke because once Charlie Kirk got killed, they all started pearl clutching and shit for people making fun of them the same way they made fun of other people who got killed who they didn't like. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But like we on record and I'm on record. I didn't want to see Charlie Kirk get shot. I didn't really ever think about Charlie Kirk. You know what I'm saying? I used to see him in videos debating people, and I didn't give a fuck what he was talking about, truthfully. But I'm just talking about the people who are doing the same thing that they condemned other people for doing because people was doing it about somebody who they liked. So they reporting people. But these type of people, you know what I'm saying? Those people who call woke, He came in there and Donald Trump said something he didn't like, and then he just said flat out, Donald Trump ain't putting that shit out because he all over it. He's all over it, and he don't want that out there. That's what Elon Musk said. So that's how you end up with the president taking his cabinet members into the situation room to try to deal with this. The situation room, as if somebody just set off a bomb in the middle of Times Square, as if Russia just declared war on America. None of that happened. That's the type of stuff the situation room is for. The situation room is not for the Epstein files, bro.
Right.
But go, I had a diatribe, bro. Go ahead, the floor is open. I'm backing up because I've been yapping for too long.
Nah, I mean, you pretty much saying everything, bro. It's wild, it's crazy, and I do believe that the file should be released in its entirety. I don't think that they should, scrub them or, make them look a little bit better. I think they should drop the real raw footage. Well, not footage, but the files.
Nah, I don't want to see nothing them motherfuckers had going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to see nothing that they had going on. But you know what'll happen though? Like, and what you think about this? If they do drop, because like 20,000 pages came out. If they do drop it and it's been scrubbed and sanitized and a bunch of stuff redacted, that some internet detective is just going to grab the 20,000 uncensored pages and compare and contrast them with what gets released.
Mm-hmm.
And they going to see if stuff is starting to look funny on the official full release of the files, so-called full release. You know what I mean? Like, so, 1 second. Let me see. I might been talking and my motherfucking microphone might not even be set to the correct microphone, bro. Like, you know how I get, bro. Like, I just don't be preparing for this shit correctly sometimes. Is it set to the? Nope, it's set correctly. Everything is right. Waiting an hour and a half into the show to check on shit like that is not the optimal way to do this. Go ahead, play that. That's just funny.
Better than World War III, Owen. There's no video of President Trump sucking a ding-dong. And so what if there was? That's a lot better than World War III, Owen. I never sucked any ding-dongs. But I'll tell you, if they were going to blackmail me to start World War III about one, I'd say, hey, I sucked a golf ball through a freaking garden hose.
Didn't you already tell Der Spiegel that?
No, the son of a bitch walked in there in my own office when I'd splattered stuff on myself and I was changing shirts. He goes, oh, that's a good shot. Let's get your shirts. And then he goes, I go, hey, have some of this chicken and sausage. So technically I said, Jones offered me his sausage. Yeah, give me a break, you son of a bitch. I like women, not men. And if I like men, I'd be proud of it. I'd have a line of them. But I ain't ever been in bed with no man. I've been in bed with probably 300 women. And you sons of bitches sit there and you play these games, and I'm sick of it. So.
That was cool.
That leads into this where they tried, allegedly, you know what I'm saying, is this the one between Epstein and his brother Mark?
I believe so, yeah.
Donald Trump sucking off Bubba.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead on and read it, bro.
Ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba.
Now, I'm sorry. People have speculated that Bubba is Bill Clinton, the so-called nickname for Bill Clinton. However, however, Jeffrey Epstein's brother has took it a step further and said that it's not Bill Clinton. Bubba is somebody else. And it took it as far as to say it could have been one of Ghislaine Maxwell's fucking horses that they were talking about, but he didn't clarify. He just said it wasn't Bill Clinton.
Right.
And if Donald Trump wanted to suck off Bill Clinton, you know what I'm saying? They can do their thing, you know. Bill Clinton is not going to turn down getting his meat sucked. If we know anything about him, that's one thing we know about him.
Mm-hmm.
That nigga was all up in the Oval Office. He was all up in the Oval Office letting business be done. You know what I mean? But it's just depravity, bro. Like, and this is the type of shit that's in these emails and papers that Donald Trump has people in the same room that you go to discuss terrorist attacks at, talking about this. This is what got him calling a person a traitor, bro. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene, calling her a traitor, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And she done said a bunch of crazy shit, so I ain't trying to really cape up for her. But Donald Trump, he done gave her the MAGA green light, meaning that, all right, y'all got the green light to hate this bitch now because she said something bad about me. He gave that shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, this shit is just all around crazy, though. This shit is crazy, and it's just, it's really crazy how everybody's just somehow weaved into this shit. All the presidents, well, a couple of the not all of them obviously, but a couple presidents, a couple more important people. People was even talking about Bill Gates, I believe. Like, this shit is nuts. That having money should be different.
Shit.
An actual reality check from a Hey Megan Kelly, I'm Eloise and I'm 14 years old. I wasn't even gonna say anything because the topic is an adult one. My mom even made a video about it yesterday because we didn't feel it was an appropriate topic for a child to speak about. But after hearing you go on camera and explain that Epstein wasn't into 8-year-olds, just the barely legal type like 15, I realized you might need an actual reality check from a literal child. So let me help you out. Megan, people in my grade are turning 15 right now. Some of us still have baby faces. Some of us still have braces. Some of us still call our parents when we're scared at night. Some of us still look like middle schoolers because we basically are. And the fact that a grown woman needs a teenager to explain that is honestly terrifying. Here's the part you seem confused about. Under federal law, anyone under 18 is a child. No asterisk. No, but they hit puberty. No, older kids don't count. Anyone under 18 is a child. You said you were just giving facts, but here's the real fact. What you said wasn't factual. It was minimizing. It was making abuse sound like a technicality. And Megan, here's the part you really need to hear. If a 14-year-old has to get on the internet and explain to a grown adult with national platform that children are children and there's no age where abuse suddenly becomes less bad, then the problem isn't confusion. It's corruption.
So, we just, one second. I'm reading something here, and the law gives Pam Bondi, a fucking Trump lapdog, the authority to redact anything related to an investigation from the files, or that so-called threatens national security. What did we just say that happened? Trump opened up an investigation. He opened up an investigation earlier in the week. You know, they asses scrubbing like hell.
That's nuts.
Scrubbing.
That's crazy. I mean, you knew it was gonna happen, bro. You knew the real version of them shits.
At all. She actually never said that once. She just said that you're not. She did real things, and this is not a hoax. All right. And you know what? The White House only wants it to not be a hoax when it's convenient for them, right? They want to mention my sister's name and say, oh, so he's vindicated because my sister said so. Not true. Not true at all. She actually never said that once. She just said that you're nice to her, and and that doesn't mean that it didn't happen to somebody else. But for that, she did real things, and this is not a hoax. All right.
I never watched that clip, so I mean, based off of her brother's words, I think I have to take back that she said, because this is the brother of Virginia, the one who allegedly ran herself over with a bus.
Mm-hmm.
I have to take back that she said that she never saw Trump do anything wrong. According to him, she only said that Trump was nice to her. So you know what I'm saying? Even the little morsel of benefit of the doubt that we gave him, we can't even really give to him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what happens. Like, and it's not the first time. Like, the country just elected a scumbag. That's what happened. It's happened in the past. In the past, the country might have elected motherfuckers you didn't like, but this time you elect the country elected a scumbag, bro. Like a person that don't give a fuck about nothing but their own self. You know what I'm saying? Like, and did enough to, garner up a cult. The motherfucker said, like, that he even, like, the people that voted for Trump, or not the people that voted for Trump, but the people who fall into this cult-like mentality behind Trump. I mean, Trump flat out said that they were stupid, and they were so stupid he could shoot somebody in broad daylight and they would still vote for him. That's a word. That's his words.
Mm-hmm.
He said he called them people stupid, bro. Like, that's what he said. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just, don't shoot the messenger. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just repeating what y'all kings said. We really looking at unprecedented times. You know what I'm saying? Because they got Bill Clinton up out of there for fucking a grown woman who wanted to fuck him. They impeached him behind that. Had him on TV. I did not have sexual relations with that woman behind that. So if Trump didn't lay one fingertip on not one of those girls, the fact that he knew about it and went out of his way and is still going out of his way to cover it up is just as bad, bruh.
No, I agree.
Enablers are in certain situations are just as guilty. That's why they have charges for people who enable these behaviors. You know what I'm saying? If you help somebody escape, that's accessory. If you don't report the crime but you know about it, that's accessory before the fact. If you help somebody bury a body, that's tampering with evidence, concealing evidence. You know what I'm saying? If you help somebody, if you hide a nigga that's running from the police, that's aiding and abetting.
Mm-hmm.
The law got all of this stuff built into it for people who just know about this stuff and don't do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but me, all I know is I hate them. I hate pedophiles. I hate anybody that's trying to cover up for one. And I don't really got much else to say about it.
Yeah, I pretty much don't have anything else to say about it. I'm just waiting to see what else is in the files and if some more of this crazy stuff gonna drop, like these emails. Cause seeing these emails, that was kind of mind-boggling.
Right, it's 20,000 of them, so you can really go scrub them. You can search Donald Trump name and just read all the parts that's related to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's 20,000 pages is out now. Like you can do a keyword search on them, but then like the thing about this situation is that we're past the point of fooling somebody with any of this dumb shit.
Right.
Like you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, bro. So even if the lady, the Pam Bondi, whatever she is, attorney general, she's something like that. Whatever she is to the United States, even if she has the files, she puts together a team, they scrub it clean. People know that something was there before. If you put out a highly redacted version, that's only gonna make people wonder, what are you trying to hide? It's not gonna make people say, they're not gonna make normal people say, see, we told you he didn't do nothing. It's gonna be like, yo, what the fuck y'all redact all this for?
Mm-hmm.
What are you trying to hide? It's gonna have people out here, the real internet detectives, just try to figure out how to unredact it. People do it all the time about meaningless shit. I saw like a year ago, whenever that court case between and they ended up buying them. They own Activision now. But that court case came about because the FCC or FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, tried to block the purchase, saying it was like Microsoft was trying to become a monopoly. And they redacted a bunch of shit, and people got on the internet. People on the internet got their hands on them case files, and number one, they put out an unredacted version by mistake first, and people got that, and then people went and unredacted more of it and figured out a bunch of shit that was happening. Figured out that that some of them Xbox only games was coming to the PlayStation and all of that. Because so if people will go as far as to try to unredact something behind some bullshit ass video games behind Xbox, you know there's some damn what's that word, Poindexter motherfucker is gonna get at these Epstein files and try to figure out every single piece of information that Pam Bondi scrubs out of it, if she scrubs any of it, which she will. When you got Donald Trump running around like a chicken with his head cut off, not able to even decide what to do about this stuff, like, you know that shit is gonna get redacted. You know what's happening.
But yeah, we definitely gonna see what else comes out about this, because I'm curious to see.
If when the real files come out, bro, like when the final files come out, we compile some information, we might come back with a follow-up. I don't know, like literally there is people who can do this, who's gonna actually read through the whole shit. There's people who's gonna put together a team of people and scrub through every document that releases as a part of this. And those people are not us. We're not doing that. So it might be a point where we might have to stand back and let somebody else take it from here. You know what I mean? And we just commentate on what comes out after they finish doing that. So that might be what happens, but we'll see, you know.
Yeah. But